Hello, listener. My name is Mayari, and this is Magical Coffee Dates. I'm sitting here in the Moonbeam tea rooms. I've got a warm mocha with me, a sausage roll, and the owners are really cool and let me set up my laptop to record these sessions. I'm waiting to meet up with an old friend and hopefully rekindle that friendship because I moved away from the October region and just sort of lost touch with everyone. But it's fine because I'm back now. I sent out a mailer cat, Bod, to everyone I used to know and set up a few coffee dates. Thankfully, some people replied, and today I have with me.
Is this where I'm supposed to speak?
Yes, if if you're comfortable speaking.
I'm I'm fine. I'm fine with speaking. I've never used this type of technology before. I'm not
Oh,
used to.
well, you have a microphone in front of you, and it
Okay.
just records your voice,
Oh.
and it's plugged into my laptop, which is this big blocky thing here, and I'm able to, I guess, keep our voices within this, and I can distribute
But
this.
it's not magic.
No, it's technology, which is kind of like magic, but
Okay.
I don't
I
know.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen something quite like this before. Usually in the way that things go with me.
Hmm.
Well, maybe there is, and maybe I'm just a bit disconnected from
No, I don't.
reality.
I don't think you're disconnected. Also, I'm sorry, I didn't properly introduce. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello,
Maybe.
my name is Calista. I'm from the ethereal realm. I speak with a certain candor because I
Yeah.
have the tendency to go into my visions, and my
Yes.
visions are quite a lot. So I stay
Yeah. Um.
melodic.
Yeah. I've known Callista for a while and bumped into them in the ethereal region, and yeah, it was interesting. I don't really know what it's great that you here. I'm glad that you showed up, and I wasn't expecting you to. Like, I haven't really anyone else that's shown up, but
Oh,
it's really interesting that Bod reached the ethereal region, if that's where you were when he
yeah.
found you.
Yes, I things have changed a lot over the years since we last connected. I'm in and out of the ethereal realm, but it was on my way back to home when I
Hmm.
noticed that that was there, and it was quite surprising. I'm piecing back together the way that we came together, and it is interesting how all of these years away we're able to sit here right now. You've
Yeah.
changed so much since the last time I saw you, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
I know. I just decided, like, as you might have remembered back when we met,
Hmm.
like, I was kind of lost. And I mean, we don't have to talk about that, but like, yes, I did feel a little bit lost. And when we met, um, I think I was just at the point where I was like, something needs to change. And now, I'm back home now, and I feel a lot
Hmm.
better about things. And I'm doing this now, so it's been really good. It's been good.
Yes, you have a different aura about you now comparatively to before.
What
Although,
color is it now? Is it still
well, it's more of like a sea green.
okay?
Whereas before it was more of like a murky blue. You couldn't quite make out the color. So you
Right.
saying I didn't really know where I was going, I could see there that you were
That I
quite
looked
lost.
murky. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I
Murky,
mean,
you looked fine. Your
yeah.
aura was just a bit murky.
Yes, okay. Because I know I was traveling through the swamp region, and I was worried that I might have just carried swamp with me and no one told me.
No.
But okay, it was just my aura.
It
Okay.
was just your aura. It was a lovely time. The charming region is very overwhelming. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. The party and the people, and I mean, obviously I didn't know what was going on in your life, and I wasn't equating it to
Mhm.
you coming to the party, but I can see everything, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. That was an interesting moment for me. Like, one minute I'm walking down a boardwalk and someone's like, "Hey, you wanna come to a party?" And I'm covered
Hmm.
in seaweed or algae, and they're like, "Hey, come to this party," and I'm feeling disheveled. I'm sure I looked disheveled. You said I looked fine, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, I appreciate that you said I looked fine. And then we get there and everyone's like really flirting with each other. And I mean,
Yes.
that's fine, but I don't know what I was expecting going to a party in somewhere where people are just very attractive and
Yes.
like
Yes.
doing this sort of, I mean, not saying that everyone in the charming region is like this, but it did seem that way.
It is quite a number of them in the region, and that party in particular was very flirtatiously forward. Although particularly, I didn't really, I did not want to go to that party, but there was a friend, an acquaintance now, who brought me there, and I think, similar to you. I wasn't sure why I was here, but I was. So I was observing everything. There was a lot of energy in the room, and there are too many auras for me to
Right.
navigate through. There were so many bright colors, and yours in particular stuck out because of the murkiness. But the murkiness wasn't off putting. It was more of like, I wonder where that person came from and where are they going to go.
Yeah. That was, yeah. I mean, and then when you sat next to me and just stared at me for like 10 minutes straight and
I'm
none of us said a
sorry.
word. I mean, no, it's fine. Uh, I just didn't know what to do. I thought that maybe you would say hello, but I could have easily just said hello, and I'm very sorry for not really saying anything.
When it comes to people, the way things work with me and the customs in my world, as an oracle, we usually stand in the background and wait to be approached because normally people understand that's an oracle. Let me talk to them if I need to
Right,
figure out something about their future.
right,
So my stare, how, thinking back in time, how foolish of me to think that, of course, you would know I was an oracle. So me staring at you, giving you the the go ahead to you can approach. I see
right,
your aura.
right. I should have
Hello.
known that.
No one. The assumption that people would always know what oracles from the ethereal region look
Right.
like. It's a lot.
I mean,
My friend who's also from the ethereal region was bragging throughout the whole party. Maybe you missed the bragging of my
maybe.
friend the oracle. It
Yeah.
was a lot.
I mean, I probably did because if I had known, I mean, I'm sure people are scared to find out more about themselves. But
Hmm.
I mean, I guess for future reference, how would I identify that someone is an oracle? Is it something that you might be wearing? Is or do people just shout, "There's an oracle here"?
Well, a lot of people from the ethereal region dress in particular ways, and oracles, yes, have certain types of garbs. That day, I did not want to project that I was an oracle. I was
Right.
not told by my friend that she would be telling people, but I have this charm that I wear on my neck and on my wrist that
Okay.
is passed down in our families that shows that we are of the lineage of oracles. So in the ethereal region, when I'm in my garb, I'm in a long tunic with
Mhm.
long flowy sleeves, and I like to wear more adorning headpieces. It's very traditional. People will identify who I am. Outside of the ethereal region, the only reason why I would leave is for business. And it's interesting saying oracles in business, but sometimes
Yeah.
oracles are hired to go into dealings with royalty if they want to seek out spiritual guidance from someone from the ethereal region. And that's very deep and political and a lot about
Right.
parts of my
Yeah.
life that we don't need to talk about today. But I was more, what is the word? What is a word that people would say? Incognito.
Yes. I
I
mean,
was in disguise that day.
I guess.
Unfortunately, my disguise was thrown away as soon
Oh,
as she was saying that I was there.
I mean, that would really frustrate me if I just wanted to enjoy something as well, especially if all you do is business when you leave and maybe just wanted to enjoy yourself,
Yes.
once you realized you were going to be there. But yes, your charm is absolutely gorgeous, and so is your bracelet. Like, I was wondering if maybe you would like to describe to people what that looks like or what they look like.
Each on the chain, there are a couple of charms. The main one that I had at the time had an eye seeing into your soul.
Mhm.
The charm that I wear around my necklace, usually it changes from year to year, but it depends on your energy. It's a jewel that rests perfectly in the center of your collarbone, and it reverberates a color based on where the oracle is at in their life. But
Oh,
also, when we make connections with other people, oracles have to make contact, physical contact, whether it just be a hand on the shoulder, a hand
right.
hold, any type of touch. The charm on our neck will reverberate the color that represents the aura of the person that we're connected with. It's very much as a mirror
Oh.
to other people as much as it's a mirror about us.
That makes sense because when we did eventually get to talking and you did put your hand on my shoulder, the entire room looked like there was some murky cloud.
Yes.
And I wondered why everyone was looking in my direction. And I guess now I know.
Also, at when I make a connection with someone and I talk to them about what is happening in their life or potentially their future, I go from speaking with a certain type of candor to being a little bit louder than I should be in a public setting.
Yeah.
It's it seems dramatic, but it's unfortunately what happens. I become a bit more spectrally, like my physical form kind of dissipates,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then there's more auras and colors and things. It's very show stopping. I usually take appointments and sessions in a private space where no one else can see, but I thought perhaps because I saw this interesting aura, I need to I personally was seeking out the knowledge of why your aura was that color. But
I mean, I guess since we're already talking about it, I wouldn't mind if you shared what we spoke about and what you found out. What was it that, and it'd be great to refresh my memory, but what was it that you found within me that, that made my aura so murky?
when touched you and I saw two different things. I saw chains around your arms holding you down. And then in another breath, I see both the present and the future. I saw two different things, something holding you down, a physical manifestation,
Hmm.
chaining you to something. But then in the distance, I saw a beach.
Oh,
And ironically, now that I'm thinking about this, the color of the water is the color of the aura that I see in you today. Did you ever go to a beach?
uh, yes, I have gone to a beach. Um, well, the one I went to probably most recently was on fire, but that's
Oh,
I don't.
maybe, perhaps that's not the beach I saw in the vision on fire. Why would, how would, how did
So
it?
Have you been to the Hearth region? Um,
Mm, no, I have
so
not.
so in the Hearth region, sometimes people are on fire, and
By choice. They
yeah,
are on
by
fire.
choice, and I mean that's just who they are. They're just, I think, fire
That's their
people.
beings, or just they are made
Yeah,
of fire.
sometimes, they do these like, "Oh, come visit the Hearth region," and there's beaches on fire, and I don't to be honest, I don't know why I decided to go there when I knew that this is what it was gonna be like. But when I got to that beach, it was very much like, "Well, I'm gonna either get sunburnt or just disintegrate," and
Mm.
I left quickly. It was too hot there. It was way too
Oh,
warm.
interesting. But a small loop back to the vision. I believe I told you as I saw the chains, I had, I'm in that moment, I said, you need to let go of whatever is holding you back. Where you are right now, you need to leave. You need to go. It was very urgent of like you needing to leave something. I don't know what you left. And hopefully you did leave. Now I see your aura, perhaps you did leave the thing, and perhaps you didn't even know exactly what it was, but you left something and found your way to something else.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually, um I know I did meet you, like, years and years ago.
Hmm.
Um, so after that, I guess it just sort of left places that weren't doing it for me anymore, and
Hmm.
even before I decided to go somewhere, like, for example, I saw a screeching person standing on a roller coaster and thought, "I don't think I wanna be here." So,
Oh.
I pulled myself away from the situation before I could even get stuck in it, you know? So
Hmm.
I think your advice was pretty helpful in a sense.
Yes, sometimes it's not as sometimes it can be cryptic. Sometimes it's I mean I have not personally had my hand in wars, but I know that there are people in the lineage of my people who have predicted big outcomes in the world. But I keep my head down and I like to deal with everyday people who are just
Yeah.
living their lives in whatever ways they see fit. But I always find it so interesting when I get to see a change from one color of an aura to the next and where they went, because I'd sometimes we can nail the vision.
Mhm.
And other times it can just merely be a spectacle or uh, a, a a subconscious idea rather than a physical
Yeah.
thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I know, like, when your voice got louder and you just sort of shouted, "Leave!" I thought you were telling me to leave, and I thought you for a minute, I
No.
thought you meant, like, the physical space that I
Oh,
was currently in, and I almost left, but
oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, oh. Perhaps it really was a bad idea to do a reading in front of people,
there were, like, 20 people in
strangers.
the room.
Yes. Oh, and
Like,
all of.
people started
Mm,
scrambling.
yes. I think one thing I will be grateful for is that no one talked to me for the rest of the evening.
Oh, that's
Even
good.
after my friend was bragging about the oracle, I don't think they've known. They like the spectacle of what an oracle is, but I
Right.
don't think they like the reality of what it would be, which is me quite literally looking into your soul. And if you
Yeah.
are not ready for that, I don't think you should talk to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know I was ready for it, and I let you
No.
sit there next to me for 10 minutes and just staring at me, and
Yes.
I
I
I
suppose that's me being forward is my stare. I'm also quite large. I
yeah,
kind of loom over people most of the time, staring down at them. I can see how I can be intimidating in
like,
some capacities.
I was sitting there, and I did see sort of a shadow looming over me, and I didn't know what to do, and I'm so sorry again that you had to sit there, and I just didn't know, but, what to do, that you were
I
an
feel like I should be
oracle.
the one apologizing. I'm the one who stared into your soul. I'm the one who quite literally made the entire room uncomfortable with my gift.
I mean, I don't think you can help that though. Like I think we've
Hmm.
established that you definitely can't help sometimes.
Yes.
Um, but just it was really helpful, and I, thank you for that. I hope more people thank you for, helping. 'Cause I think it's really the least people can do.
I don't know how many people I communicate with after. Um, but I feel it depends. Sometimes some people are not ready to hear what
Mm,
I have to say. And all I can tell them is what I see.
mhm,
And there's nothing I can do to control how they, what they do with that information. So,
right.
but there are some people that I feel that I've said things to that have been helpful. And that is something that when I think about my connection to my own gift, what it means to me, because there was a time where the visions were uncontrollable. It happens often when you're young and you begin to start seeing auras and people, and I you have to minimize the amount of people that you interact with. I appreciate being in a more calmer space today with less people.
Yeah.
Though I am more in control. I wear gloves now because if my it's physical, like
Yes.
legitimate skin to sometimes it's not skin, sometimes it's scales, but if
Yeah.
I'm touching, I have to
Mhm.
cover myself a little bit so that I don't accidentally in public,
Yes.
go off. But yes, it's quite interesting being able to see everything. It's
I
both
know.
so illuminating and I feel like a big part of things. And at the same time, I feel quite small.
Oh. Well,
Yes,
that's
I don't have many relationships. I I keep to myself mostly. So
well,
it's the small there's a smallness of like I feel alone but also connected to everyone all the time. That
I
makes
see.
sense.
Well, I'm alone a lot of the time too, and if you ever want to stop by and have
Hmm.
a coffee or something else with me, you're more than welcome to. Um,
Yes, I
I
quite
mean,
like this place.
yeah, it's really beautiful, isn't it? I mean, and the chairs are so comfy. I could sit here for hours.
I
Um,
also quite like tea. Tea is very
oh, well,
lovely.
they definitely have tea. So we should probably have
Yes,
gotten you some. I'm so sorry I forgot to ask.
it's okay.
Um, but okay, so before we end, is there anything about is there anything interesting that you can read in the room or about me? But, just before we head off.
Hmm.
Something, that would keep the listener excited for I don't know, whatever you see, I would love for the listener to hear.
Hmm. I'm seeing what I can find. There's a particular energy over there. It looks like someone is also having a little bit of murkiness about a few tables aside from us. And
Oh.
that reminds me, and that just brings to light a similar thing of when you feel that murkiness, because we can't all see auras, but I think we all can feel our own murkiness. I think that requires us to take a lot more time to slowly move through it. I think when you get trapped in what tar or something and you want to like run and get through it as quickly as possible, but the faster that you move through something so thick and what feels like impossible to move through, that's what's going to hold you back more. But if you move slowly and take it one step at a time, you get out of the metaphorical tar or sludge eventually, and then you're free and you continue on the path. Life is, though I can see into the future, will it actually come true? I don't know. But all I can do, and all any of us can do, is take whatever information that we have and move one step at a time every day.
Oh, I love that so much. Listener, if you're hearing this right now, make sure that you're paying attention to everything that Calista is saying because I think we can all use some guidance. And Callista's getting up to walk over to the person. Um, Callista is now
Excuse me.
raising off of the ground.
Hi.
And
Hello.
okay, everyone, I'm gonna go get them. Thank you. Thank you for listening. See you later. Bye.